Living green or sustainably is about more than saving on your electric bill and doing your part to protect natural resources. It is about a safer and healthier life for you and your family without sacrificing style, quality, or budget. This is a movement to provide all of us with clean air to breathe and water to drink, safe, healthy food to eat, and places to live, and energy to run the places where we live, learn, play, and work. The Green Gap podcast helps you get the value of green for you, your family, and your community. Whether it's green homes, green living, or the people who make it happen, join me, Marla Esser-Close, to learn how green and sustainability practices and products work for our world and you. This is Marla Close, the Green Home Coach on the Green Gap today. Well, I have a podcast from the past. I know, a blast from the past that I want to share with you today. It's all about your home and how you get to take care of it so it can take care of you. It's called How to Operate and Maintain Your Home. Pretty exciting stuff. But homeowner training is a really important key to how well we can have our homes work for us. And it's all about habits and training. There's documentation and resources and lots of things to help you do this in the easiest manner possible. So you think about it. How many times do you get a homeowner's manual when you buy or rent a home? Probably not too often. And, our houses are getting smarter and more complicated to run. So we need some help. The trick is if you don't operate the house properly, you're not going to get the full benefits out of your home. So listen into this podcast today to get some ideas about how to use the resources and training and documentation that's available to you to help you operate and maintain your home better. Listen in to find about some apps and resources that are going to help you with the learning and the training that helps you to drive your home better. And lastly, just remember that the gift of knowledge about the home is a gift for you, your community, and it helps you to do it better. So listen on. Let me know what you think about how to operate and maintain your home. It's the Green Gap Podcast with Marla Esser-Close, the Green Home Coach. And good morning, afternoon, whatever time of day it is, Tony.
How you doing, Marla? It's Tony Pratt with the Sound Room.
Hey, it's a good day when we're here, right?
It's always a good day to podcast.
Hey, podcasting is our thing. We don't get to do it enough, though, with this new format that we're block recording now.
Yeah, I know. It's the downside of it, but, what are you going to do? We both live in different markets.
Different cities.
We both have busy lives, and it's just easier sometimes to come in, do a bunch of recordings, and release them on target, every few weeks.
I gotcha. It's a matter of training us. Ha, ha, ha. Because today we're going to talk about homeowner and building owner training.
Very nice.
But before I go there, I want to give a shout out. Before we come into Shock City Studios to record, so that's my first shout out to Sam and all the team here at Shock City Studios, because they do a great job here in St. Louis, and we love coming in. Thank you for everything you do for us. But I also want to give a shout out to the Egg.
Oh, yes.
Where we eat. We always have a little prep and planning session before we record, and we go, it's in the same building. It's a small little restaurant that does breakfast and lunch, and we've just been delighted with them.
It is so delicious, too. If you're ever down in this area in St. Louis, 2200 Gravois, the Egg. It's wonderful.
And that was breakfast an unsolicited plug. We just really like this place, so we want to share it for any of you that are in St. Louis.
Any day we record, seriously, we eat there. We've pretty much had everything on the menu. But it's so convenient,
so we've been trained.
It's all about developing proper habits.
There you go. Well, and man, habits and training. You couldn't have done a better segue if I'd paid. Oh, wait.
Yeah, I don't get paid for this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So as one of our continuing educations about all the different components and parts of a green home and what goes into it, there's this last area or first area in my mind about homeowner and building owner training, documentation, and resources. And while this sounds a little dry, folks, this is a big deal because when you get a new car, first place you go is your owner's manual.
Oh, absolutely.
How many times have you gotten an owner's manual with your home or your apartment or your condo?
It's becoming a little bit more prevalent, but still not that much, especially if you're buying an existing home.
Yeah.
If you're buying a brand new home built last maybe year or two, I think you might get something depending on the builder.
But they're pretty rudimentary.
Yes.
Mine, when
basic.
we got our new house, it was helpful. I've looked at it a few times, but it's not nearly as filled out and fleshed out as it could be.
Right. And think about it, too. These houses are getting smarter.
Oh, yeah.
They're getting more complicated to run. It's no longer something you can just breeze through and do really fast. But the trick is, if you don't operate the house properly, you're not going to get the benefits out of all the new technology that's put into the house.
Well, or the house itself.
Yes.
Okay, I know a lot of gentlemen I know aren't real prone to reading directions all the time, but us ladies typically are a little bit more in tune with that. Just difference between the way we are all wired, right? But you get an awful lot of information when you are moving into a home, be it an existing home or a new home. You're overwhelmed with how much information there is. And you don't start realizing what you need to know. You just don't know what you don't know. So as you start living in the house and experiencing what life is like in the house, now you're home, you start figuring out, oh, how do I do that? Oh, what about this? Oh, I need that. That's when having that education and that training and hopefully some sort of a guide to reflect back on and define things really comes into play. Let's see, we've been in our home since end of September, so October, November, December, January, February. So 5 months. I know I had to count that. That's pretty sad today. 5 months. And we still have one more warranty, our 1-year warranty coming up. So we kind of keep a running list. But we're still bumping into things pretty regularly that we're having to fine tune or figure out.
That's kind of expected.
It is expected.
That's why most builders will do the 1 month walk.
And they do a walkthrough.
The 1 year walkthrough, just to get that list of what needs to be fine tuned a little bit. It's interesting because I read an article this weekend, like you talked about, kind of acquiring all that information and making that list of what's not right. Well, there was an interesting article in USA Today over the weekend about smart homes.
Uh-oh, up your alley.
Exactly, especially if you're buying a pre-existing home. You might have had a homeowner that sits there and likes to tinker.
Oh.
Or even if you're buying a high-performance home or a home that has advanced automation in it. There's some new things you have to worry about. I mean, this article was hysterical because the homeowner thought there was an issue with their thermostat.
I see this one coming.
Every time,
as a nest owner.
Every time she would go to set the thermostat at 70 degrees, it would reset itself to 80 degrees. Come to find out it was a pre-existing home, and the old homeowner in his house kept trying to set the thermostat on his phone, not realizing that the thermostat was tied to his old house.
So he must have had a direct connection because my Nest was tied in through the Wi-Fi network. So when I shut down my Wi-Fi network, it shut down that link.
That's a Nest.
Yeah, but I guess with a Wi-Fi enabled
every other one that I deal
thermostat
with on my phone,
is direct.
I've got 5 different display homes on my phone that I can log right into their house and change whatever I want. It has nothing to do with being on the network because it ties to the controller.
Oh
the
my
controller
gosh,
is what it's that added layer of security. But now all of a sudden, if you don't realize that, you're controlling the wrong house.
So now, in addition to learning how to operate, okay, folks, don't get wigged out because this is a good problem to have because we have these wonderful apps and technology to help us. When we can't do it with our behavior, the apps will help us do it automatically. So that I love. But it is one more thing we're going to have to remember when you're transferring a house to a new owner.
Absolutely.
And I know when I sold my condo here in St. Louis, I actually invited the new owner. I'm kind of like going above and beyond the 2 realtors just talking to each other. I'm like, I want to talk to her. And I extended an invitation through a realtor. And she responded. And I said, I'd like to invite you to come out to the house at their condo and let me walk you through and show you where everything is and how everything functions.
That's a good idea.
When I bought that place, nobody did that for me, and it took me months to figure out things. And I was discovering things for ages. I found extra flooring, I found the light bulbs, I found the past guy that had serviced the heating and air conditioning. I had to figure out on my own how the sump pumps worked and just all of this. So I thought, okay, if there's one thing I can do, I'm in the business too. So, hey, I should serve at a higher level. So I invited her over and we walked through the house for about an hour. I showed her how everything functioned. I don't know how much she retained, but I said, here's my phone number. If you have any questions, just call. I can tell you, what's going on.
Yep. We do a lot of that with builders we work with, especially if it's a spec home or a market home. We'll wire it, and then when they sell it, we'll walk the house with the homeowner so they know what technologies are in the house, where everything is.
And we do that with HomeNav as well.
And we'll also get real estate agents that will call us to meet their client out to a house because they just bought it and they notice there's technology in the house, but they don't even know where to start.
What it is, yeah.
And it could be something as somebody had a home theater and you see all the wires and there's some pieces there, but not enough to make it work. How do you get it up and running? So you find an expert like us to go do that.
Yikes. Well, hey, there's a lot of different ways to tackle these things. And as we dive into our next segment, we're really going to talk about the kinds of things you want to make sure you get trained on in your home, or if you are the builder or the remodeler or somebody delivering the home, what you should do. And then we also want to talk about how that ties into your maintenance and operations, and talk about other resources that might be available to help you as you are learning how to operate your house. Because once you've got this structure, it can be as great as everything in the world, but if you don't keep it great and know how to operate it great, you're kind of at a loss. So that's really what we want to help y'all figure out today. We've got some further topics to dig in a little bit more, but let's take a quick break and a real breather here for a moment, and we'll be back. Hey, this is Marla Close, the Green Home Coach, and I am the author of Living Green Effortlessly, Simple Choices for a Better Home. And in this book, besides talking about a bunch of stuff about green and sustainability products and practices you can easily take in your home, also talk about home maintenance and how important this is to having a home that serves you rather than you serving it. Seasonal home maintenance checklists are a big part of this, and I teamed up with colleague Tina Gleisner from Home Tips for Women to use her maintenance checklist, actually included in the book, starting on page 96. And if you have the book, look them up. But I wanted to give you a brief excerpt from the book to get you excited about why home maintenance checklists, I know that doesn't sound very exciting, but why they are so important. So, maintaining a home is actually a 3-part ongoing process: inspect, maintain, and update. To help you keep track of what you've done and plan to do, make notes on the checklist. First, inspect. If you've only got an hour to spare, pick one exterior side of the house or one room inside to inspect. Note the date you did this on the checklist and flag items needing maintenance or repairs so you can schedule time or make a list for your handyman or handywoman. Second, maintain. Keep your home safe, such as smoke detector batteries. Keep your home energy efficient, like furnace air filters, and prolong the useful life of many home features, like caulking bathroom tile. Write it down when you complete a task, keeps you from guessing later on. And third, update. Take advantage of improved materials and fixtures, upgrade to new building codes, and evaluate when it makes more sense to make an improvement rather than repair, such as replacing a bathroom floor rather than repairing the grout. Check out the book or give me a holler and I'll hook you up online to get the maintenance checklist for yourself. If you'd like to have the entire book, please go to livinggreenbook.com for a multitude of ways to purchase it for yourself. Thanks again. This is Marla, the Green Home Coach. Gavin, about home training, or I'm trying to think of a better way to put this. How about learning your home, training from your home?
It's homeowner operation.
I know, but
training.
That's boring. We got to come up with a better name.
But it is what it is.
Okay, well, all you folks out there listening, we're going to talk to you about how to run your home, how to get trained on it.
How to drive the house.
Oh, there you go. Driving your home.
Driving your home. There you go.
We got a title, Driving Your Home. Woohoo. So, we've talked about all these reasons you need to drive your home, why it's such a big deal. And I will say with a green home, it's important in any home, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But with a green home,
especially
and a green certified home, it's required. Well, basics parts are required, and it depends which version, how new the version of the certification program is you're using. But in some versions, it is required to have that training.
Well, it should be, too, because there's so much that goes into building a green home, a certified home. If the homeowner doesn't know how to use it, it's like giving them a brand new Ferrari, throwing them the keys and saying, good luck.
Yeah. Bye.
That's just not how it works. You have to know exactly how to work the house to get the biggest benefits out of it.
Well, it's true for anything.
You will not hear me arguing this
I know,
point.
but we do take it for granted with our homes that we're just going to pop in there and figure it out.
Right.
And what we're suggesting is don't just figure it out. There's tons of resources available.
What worked 40 years ago doesn't work today.
Well, I don't know that it even worked 40 years ago.
No, I think it did.
Maybe.
For somebody that was handy.
No, in our house, I had a house I bought my first house when I was in my 20s, and that was a while ago, several decades ago. And there was
I wasn't going to say anything.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm a senior citizen, so just a fun senior citizen. What can I say? Any rate.
Continue.
I had so many things in that home that I had to figure out on my own.
Right.
And it was an older home. It was a 1930s era home. And a lot of things have been updated, but some things were still creaky and tweaky from the 30s. So it's, I think, true for any home. And that training is a way for you to better understand it. It's just like training for anything else and better understanding what's going on in your body or an exercise program or your nutrition or your vehicle, all of that. Training allows us to do things in the way it was intended and get full effect and full benefit.
And the newer homes we're seeing, for the most part, a lot of them do have some manual, even if it's rudimentary.
Yeah, it's basic, but there's something.
But still, that's only a small percentage of the housing stock out there that sells.
Well, I tried with HomeNav to get realtors interested in it, and it just wasn't the time.
Right.
But it might be now.
But if you're looking at a pre-existing house, what do you do?
Yeah.
Isn't that the next question? How do you ask for this?
It's easy to do.
How do you accumulate it?
So here's the kinds of things that you want to make sure that you're being trained on if you're the person living in the home, or the things that you're training on if you're the builder. The realtor really should be able to help do it, but somebody needs to train the person coming into that home or that building. Heating and cooling filters, number one. And there's nothing you can do more important to maintain a good indoor air quality in your home or building.
And that's got to be one of the easiest.
Not really. Like
Changing a filter?
Our new house, they're in the ceiling.
Really?
Because they run their ductwork through the attic.
But you're in a goofy market.
I know, I'm in a goofy market. So that's one. The one you were talking about earlier, thermostat.
Mm-hmm.
Not only how to operate it, but how to program it.
How to program it, how to change the batteries.
Yeah.
The simple maintenance
Or just cheat and get it, like a Nest or one of the other learning thermostats. But even so, you still have to figure out how to get it set up.
Yes.
So somebody needs to show you how to do that. Lighting controls. Okay, not such a big deal when we have the rocker switches, but this is right up your alley.
But now you have homes, and this is really going to be prevalent, I think, in the next 5 years. You have homes that have controlled lighting scenes, whether you're controlling it off an app, it's something simple and it's all based in the cloud, or the house has a smart home processor somewhere in it and everything is tied together. Everybody uses the term control.
Well, heck, you can buy a light bulb that you can control with an app now.
So there's a difference.
Yeah.
Control is just simple, turn it on, turn it off on your phone. Automation means that light bulb, that light switch talks to other types of devices.
And you can schedule it, right?
You can schedule it. You can create scenes. You can do the if-then statements.
Right.
If this happens, then that happens. But these are all things people need to learn how to use, because if you don't, then you're just going to walk up to it and turn it on, turn it off, and you're not going to gain any of the benefits for it.
So back to that article you found, now that there's enough things in our homes that we can retrofit or put in new that are app controlled, make sure if there's apps running that house that they're part of the training as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow, wouldn't it be really nice if you helped the new owner get the apps on their phone or on their iPad or their tablet or whatever?
Well, and typically that's what we do. So we have a builder here in St. Louis that does have a smart controller in every house, and they'll have a couple options that come with the house. So the minute they move in, they set up their utilities. We're out there showing them how to program their phone, showing them how to turn things on, how to set things up, and teaching them the right way to use it. It's just part of the process.
So if you keep going, fan controls in a similar vein to lights.
Absolutely.
And teach people about putting them in reverse for winter. Like we run ours in reverse because our air is delivered from the ceiling. Mm-hmm. So we need to run that fan backwards to push the air down the walls into the room. Otherwise, it all stays at the top in the ceiling. So that's what running your fan backwards in the winter does. It pushes that hot air, and hot air rises anyway.
Yes, it does.
So it pushes that hot air back into the room. And we just run ours on the lowest speed so we don't feel the draft.
Okay.
It just moves the air down.
It's a very good idea.
Anyway, so there's my tip of the day. But understanding how to put the fan in reverse, how to put it back and forward, how to adopt the speed, if there's a remote, if there's an app, because now we're seeing a lot of app-controlled fans too.
Yeah, there are a lot of app-controlled fans, but what we're finding is the ones that the builder provides, usually there's some type of a little issue.
Yeah.
They don't talk because the builder's never had to think about this yet.
As a system.
And
that's where you guys come in, but we'll talk more about that later.
Yeah, that's another podcast.
Water heater. That's another one you want to be trained on. Not only how to access it, should you need to drain it, which you should do once a year. Most of us don't do it. How to control the settings. And if there's a vacation setting on it, how to operate that. And if it's not an electronic ignition or an electric heater, how to relight the pilot. But some basics like that.
Once again, a lot of hot water heaters, they're app controllable now.
Yeah.
They're tied to the
I don't
Wi-Fi.
have one yet, but I need to get in and turn my water down, my water heat, the temperature down, because it's too high. But it took us a while to figure that out.
Right.
So now that we've kind of figured it out, we can play with it.
Probably because you're guessing and nobody showed you how to.
Yeah. And they did
Here's the manual.
They showed us the basics when we moved in. But man, I mean, you're getting so much in 2 hours.
Yeah, you get bombarded.
So the last thing that is required in the certification practices for training is recycling practices. So what recycling is available in the home, in the neighborhood, when recycling pickup is. So just a way to enforce, or not enforce, encourage.
Encourage.
I won't enforce today. But encourage people to recycle and for them to know what resources are around to help them do that.
Right.
So those are the required things. But if you think about it, what are some other things that would be really helpful to be trained on?
Well, any system that goes in that house, you really need to know. You know, we share similar clients, and we work on some of these very advanced high-performance homes. In a situation like that, we're teaching them on how to use all the electronics in the house.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got appliances nowadays that you can tie to the house remotely and make them communicate with other devices in the house. You have your audio-video systems, your security systems. You have your, we like to call environmental control. That's your lights, your thermostats, your locks. Basically anything that goes in that house now, you almost need to be instructed on things outside of the basics. We
have more than basics now.
Absolutely.
But here's the deal, too, is that I had the opportunity to really spend some time with InSinkErator, who makes the leading maker of garbage disposers. And when we were at the Builders Show in January, well, they were showing us how to properly maintain your garbage disposer. Sorry, I have to get the word right. I'm like, oh, wow, I've been running a garbage disposer all my life, and they taught me new things. So even the mundane things, like they were teaching me the way to clean your garbage disposer is fill it full of ice and run it for a minute.
Oh, interesting.
And you can put like a slice of lemon in there to refresh it. But if you go to InSinkErator site, they have all these tips for you. I'm like, I didn't know that. So even the mundane is something that we can help people operate it better so that it's a better living environment for them.
Think of refrigerators.
Oh my gosh, it's changed so much.
GE and Whirlpool. I'm going to use these two examples because I know they're building them now with the software to integrate with Alexa.
Yeah.
All right. So now they can tell you when you're low on something, but you need to know how to operate it
how to
set it up so it would work. And if somebody's not teaching you, then that's a feature that has no benefit to anybody because I don't know how to use it.
I know. So let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about how to get this training. And if you're watching the Facebook Live and you want to know how, contact us and we'll fill you in because the podcast won't be out for a little while. We'll be right back. Five myths of green homes are 5 things that you probably believe about green homes that may be costing you thousands of dollars. Which myth do you hear the most? Get your copy of 5 Myths at greenhomecoach.com and click on the button for 5 Myths of Green Homes. You can also connect with me on Facebook at Green Home Coach and let me know the green home myth you hear the most. I'll also share tips, products, and resources. Be sure to download your copy of 5 Myths of Green Homes now, and then check back to learn more. Okay, well, we're back talking about driving your home.
I like that.
I think it works.
Yeah,
How to drive your home.
Driving means operating.
It just makes me think of Driving Miss Daisy. I was watching that movie last week.
A driver's license is an operator's license.
Well, there you go. Okay, see? Fair enough. Fair enough. So we talked about all these things that you need to know how to function with them, how to set them up, how to operate them, how to program them. But there's a lot of different options that could be used for actually getting that information from the person that has it to the person that needs it, the actual training itself. Obviously, one way is for the builder, the realtor, the owner to physically walk through with the person needing to be trained.
Right.
And that's what a lot of the people I do actually do.
And then the homeowner can sit there and make their notes as they go.
And for my clients that use HomeNav, and we set up HomeNavs for them, several of them take the homeowner through the house with HomeNav.
Okay.
So they'll have a tablet with HomeNav up on it, and as they're walking through the house, they show them where the stuff is in HomeNav. So for you guys that are listening in and don't know what HomeNav is one of our offerings at the Green Home Coach, and I apologize for the shameless plug, but it actually helps out a lot here, so that's why I wanted to bring it up. It's an online software tool. It's actually available for free if you want to fill your own in. But for our builder clients and developer clients, we fill it in. We customize it with an inventory of all this stuff in the home, all the appliances, the systems, the components, the fixtures, the finishes. And then we also can upload little videos for the specific training components that are needed. We can upload the plans. We can upload any custom documents that the builder or the developer or the community may have. We can upload custom links. But anyway, so that gives us this repository of information to use to train the homeowner or the building owner. And it doesn't go away because they get the account. They can come back and reference it. So I do have one client up in New York that we've done these little videos. They've done some really cool video doorbells and some really cool light and fan controls. And we just took these little 20-second videos. And now they can show those videos to their clients, their buyers, to show them how to operate things.
So it's really a virtual manual.
It is. It is a virtual manual. But that's another option. Or I have some clients that put together a physical book and then use that to train it. But the key here is if you can figure out a way to not just train somebody, but give them something to come back to, because I know my brain, I need the reminder.
I think that's important too, because in today's homes, there's just so much. You are not going to remember everything by walking through the house for an hour or even 2 hours and being told this does this, this does this, this does this. Well, great, you've got your notepad. Well, what's going to happen? You got to move.
Right.
You got to move all your stuff in. You've lost your notepad now. You don't know where it is. I still don't know how to make things work. It's a Sunday. How do I change this? How do I do that? There's nobody available. So it's easier to have the manual to go to.
And if you didn't, for instance, want to use something like HomeNav, you wanted to just do it on your own, and you don't get all of our expertise, but that's, at least we can help you get the basics. You could even take your own little videos or photographs and store them in a Dropbox so you could access it from your smartphone or your computer either way. The thing that's nice for me to have it on my smartphone or a tablet is that I can walk around the house with it. It's a little more cumbersome to walk around the house with my laptop. So that's nice because I can go to where the thing is that I need to understand how to operate or how to program it or what to do with it, just as a logistical element. And honestly, nowadays it's getting to the point where it's easier to access things on your phone or your tablet than even a hard copy notebook. I've got my binder from my builder that has the things in it, and I've referred to it a couple of times, but half the time I'm just going online and searching for stuff.
Right.
And that's just as quick. The other thing that we do with HomeNav that's kind of a nice shortcut, and it's one of the things I was very adamant about when we were building HomeNav, is that we put direct links into the model page for any of the components and systems in your home. Mm-hmm. And that model page almost always has the operator's manual, the warranty, or it tells you how to find the warranty, and information, the specs, the specifications of the actual product. So that's just a nice place. And if you're not using HomeNav, go find the model page for whatever it is you have questions about. Now, heads up, if it's an older model, you're going to have to search a little bit. And companies change their pages, so you may have to look a little harder. There's actually a website out there for discontinued models where you can find this information for things that are several years old and maybe aren't still in the common flow of commerce right now. The internet's made all this stuff available to us so easy, and with smartphones, we can capture that information so easy.
Oh, yeah.
So use
Google
that.
search on the phone.
Yeah, so use that. And use that as a tool to help train your buyers, your clients. Even a realtor or a homeowner can shoot a couple of little videos. Heck, my mom and dad, they're using videos on their phones all the time. And it's just so easy now that anybody can do it. So do it. But put it in a place where you can find it. That's what's most important. So put it in a Dropbox or put it in a folder, but put it someplace that's going to be meaningful to you. Because if you keep it on your phone mixed in with the other 3,428 pictures and videos, you're going to have a hard time finding it.
Absolutely.
Spoken from experience.
Well, yeah. You mean the phone's not for watching cat videos anymore?
No, it's not, is it?
Well, even if you're the builder, or you're the real estate agent, or you're the homeowner selling it, if you have all that organized and you can give it to your client to say, here's all the operational videos you need for the house. Hey, guess what? You are now at another level of customer service.
What a gift.
All of your competitors.
Yeah, truly a gift. And you may, like the neighborhood that I was in St. Louis before I moved, was just a great neighborhood. There was a tons of stuff within walking distance. We had community gardens. And when the people that bought my home, my condo, bought it, I made sure I put all that information. Matter of fact, I had it in the listing so that people would know all of that was available. And we had a community pool and tennis courts and a park and a lot of walking trails and biking trails. But that's the same kind of information that goes above and beyond what's required for training. However, again, back to your comment, whoa, what great customer service. Yeah. And if you're a builder or a developer wanting to sell more homes in your area,
that's how you do it.
Well, guess who your best referrals are?
People that have already bought.
Yep. And if they love what you've offered them and oh my gosh, you won't believe what my builder gave to me. They showed me how to do all of this, and they gave me this whole list of places I can go in the neighborhood and da-da-da-da-da-da. And yeah, they're going to tell everybody.
Yeah.
So that's a great customer service tool as well. It's a great marketing tool for people to remember that doing something that goes a little bit above and beyond, if you're building a green certified home, it may be required. However, why not turn that requirement into a marketing asset?
Oh, you know what? And that's a great way to do it. I remember, speaking of marketing, and this is how you always have to look at opportunities.
Yep.
Remember a few years ago, we had a shortage of carpenters, and we had a lot of foundations just sitting for like 3-4 weeks at a time. Well, typically production builders, they pour the foundation, it sits a week, and you start framing on it.
Right.
One production builder kept telling their homeowners that, oh yeah, we allow our foundations to cure for 30 days.
That's brilliant.
Instant credibility.
Brilliant.
So that's how you spin problems into opportunities.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So yes, training needed. Everyone knows they need it, but they don't always get it. So you provide it. Even if it's a one-on-one transaction between homeowner and homeowner, the ability to transfer that information is definitely needed, appreciated, and it is going to put you at a different level.
Well, especially if it's a one-on-one transaction. Think of it from your point of view. If you're selling the home, and if you were buying this house and all the stuff in it, wouldn't you like to know how it all works?
Yep.
And if you would like to know how
you bought my house.
Yeah, if you would like to know how it all works, chances are the person buying your house wants to know how it all works
Exactly.
too. So if you can make it easy for them, you're going to feel better about it. It's going to be a better experience for everybody.
And don't wait for your realtor to suggest it. If you want this, ask for it. And by the way, there's no reason you shouldn't want it because it'll make your life easier.
Absolutely.
So there you have it, driving your home. We hope we've elucidated a little bit of the topic. I think I said that word right.
I'm going to put the brakes on right there.
Yeah, well. But we appreciate you listening in today and continue to catch us on the Green Gab, whether it be on iTunes, the Green Home Coach website, or at greengabpodcast.com, or in our privately offered educational modules. Tony?
Marla?
Have a great day.
You too.
See y'all soon.
That wraps up this episode of the Green Gab podcast. Ready to use what you learned? Get the show notes with all the resources mentioned in this episode. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you never miss an episode. Thank you again for listening and for leaving a review. And remember that living a little greener is easier than you think.